Hey, how's it going, guys? Coming at you with another video, playing a slower game again, against someone much lower rated than me. I wanted to try the slower time control again so that I can show you a game that is a little bit more robust, I guess a little bit more clean, where I can hopefully be a little bit more instructional. And hopefully just get also a little bit better at talking while I'm playing. Hopefully playing someone that is much lower rated than me will help that process a little bit. This game is going to be more even than it seems because I'm going to be trying to talk. But it's Christmas Day today, so I hope all you guys are having a good holiday. Okay, so what do we have here? This guy is playing a typical 4 knights. Trying to play sort of like a Nightorf here, but he's not really playing the main line, so I'm just going to continue the normal setup. Okay, he's going to bring the bishop out there. So this is just normal development. I've made a lot of pawn moves, which isn't normal necessarily for beginners. A lot of times what you want to do is develop all your pieces quickly, but I think this is okay. So he's developed his queen a little bit early here, which is kind of suspicious. I think he wants to just drive this home, and if I take, he might bring the queen in. I'm not sure what he's gaining after that, though. I think I can just play normally here. It's going to scan for threats real quick. So let's say it's pretty clear with the queen behind it, he wants to push this pawn, and after I take, he could take with the knight, and then he's threatening these 2 squares, but I don't really see what he can do there. He could then bring the bishop in, and then things might get a little bit messy, but I don't see anything too threatening. So normally in this situation, I would play like bishop to e7, but normally that's in response to a threat from his dark square bishop coming out there. So I might just try and close off this diagonal here to my king. Sure, there's no problems. If I jump in here, he takes, queen. It's a little bit uncomfortable. I wonder if it would be worth it to beat him to the punch and just play this first, but then it makes this move kind of bad. Let's see, maybe he wants to get this pawn going. Okay, I think for now I'm just going to play this move, pretty safe. This just stops him from, even if he gets his knight to this square, it stops him from following up with getting his bishop along this diagonal as well. Let's see. This is something that I think can be helpful, especially against lower rated opponents when they get into any kind of a tricky position, is, making a move that's helpful, but then forcing them to show you what they're going to do next. So yeah, now he's moved this knight, and it's a little bit less clear what he's doing, so I can kind of continue with normal Nightorf plans here with a move like this, or now I could bring out my bishop. Tough to say. I think for now, let's bring out the bishop, just because this is a good move, solid move. But now that his knights had to jump here, it really doesn't have any threats because I'm covering all these light squares. Okay, so this takes. Okay, so this is something that a lot of lower rated players like to do, is they like to jump in with the queen and get that powerful piece out as quickly as possible. There isn't really anything, too dangerous that he can do with it right now. In fact, even moves like this are now coming with tempo. But I think the first thing I want to do, and something that I recommend, especially against low rated players that like to bring the queen out early, is focus on king safety. I'm just going to castle so that my king is as safe as possible. Now that my king is safe, I can focus on a lot of these moves which are coming with tempo, like pawn up here, attacking the bishop, knight in here, attacking the queen, and then I can develop my bishop out here on this great diagonal and start getting some threats going of my own. So again, the Najdorf is kind of a tricky opening because normally you want to develop as quickly as possible, and I've sacrificed a little bit of development of my pieces by playing pawn moves like this, you know, h6, or sorry, a6, a little bit passive, just because that's the nature of the Najdorf. But in general, you like to have pieces, you know, out. Honestly, he's done a pretty good job. He's gotten a lot of his pieces developed. He needs to focus on the safety of his king right now, which we'll see if he does. Maybe he developed the queen a little bit too early, but you know, it's not a terrible move because obviously he's trying to fight for control of the center, which is good. So far not too bad, I don't think, from my opponent. He didn't play the mainline Najdorf, but I don't think he's made any major mistakes yet either. See what he does next. But yeah, what else is going on? I guess thank you guys for watching my recent YouTube videos. It seems like they're doing pretty well. These chess videos are a little bit different, it seems like, from Path of Exile because the views trickle in a little bit slower. But that one video on chess still seems like it's getting an insane amount of views every day. So thank you guys again so much. If there's any other kind of content you want to see, please let me know. I like these videos because like, I guess by what I mean by these videos is like playing against someone lower rated than me, in this case much lower rated, because it's clear to me. I've tried to record a few videos now where I'm playing against people my rating, like 1500, and it's so difficult to talk and not just get obliterated because I just don't see threats when I'm playing at a higher level. So working on getting better at that. Hopefully soon, if it's something you guys want, I can start trying to play more games against 1500 opponents. Also curious to know if you guys like seeing faster games. Let me know. I did one video where it was like a 5-minute game. That was a little bit tricky because obviously there were a lot of things that I missed in that game, but I can get better at that too. Okay, so he's trying to, you know, attack this knight here, but it's very well defended, so I don't know if he's getting much here. I think to start, what I might want to do is, so if I play this, he has to move the knight away. I was thinking about, you know, immediately playing this move, but that gives away this square, which is pretty annoying. So I think what I want to do, play this move first. So does he have any sacrifice here? Let's say he, oops. If I play this, I could sacrifice a knight and it's not really defended anymore. Then he takes with the queen. He can get 2 pawns for a piece, but he's at that point he's still not really threatening anything. And in fact, I could just go here with the bishop, and I think I'm doing just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that. And again, now this square is undefended by a pawn, so I might delay developing my knight a little bit, at least until I get the bishop out here. And then, you know, hopefully that move comes with a tempo as well, because I'll be attacking this, what is this, g2 pawn? Okay, so he moves the bishop back. Probably won't take that g2 pawn because I don't want to open the file for his rook. But this is a good move to just develop, get the pieces out, protect this square. Next, the knight's coming in here. But one important thing I guess I'll call out is that I haven't really addressed this, you know, quote unquote threat that he made with his bishop, because This piece is defended too many times. I mean, it's important to evaluate the danger of what he's trying to do here, but there isn't, you know, really too much that he's threatening. Oh, and he castles queenside. Okay, so a little bit of a risky move, because now this guy, you know, his king is a little bit vulnerable, and I've already started pushing my pawns. So let's see here. Does this change anything? I still want to play this. This is coming with tempo. It's another defender on my knight as well. And it helps close up this file, because potentially if he moves this knight, my queen could be discovered by his rook. So I do want to prevent that. Okay, I'm going to start with this. Where might he go? Queen doesn't have a lot of squares that help him push further into my position. He wouldn't be able to go there. You know, all these squares could never go there anyways. All these squares are covered. I think he's gonna have to back up here. It's good. Maybe I could even play a move like this. Knight doesn't really have any great squares to go to. But this is also around the time where it's helpful to start thinking about what's my long-term plan. And for the moment at least, there's nothing super clear. But okay, what did he take there? Oh, he sacrificed a piece for a pawn. Okay, so the idea is that if I take back, he wants to take with the knight. I think maybe if I take back, he takes with the queen. Really not clear to me what he wanted to do there, but this is a pretty major blunder, because I can just take this. I can just take his queen. I'm not sure if he saw the threat that his queen was attacked, but I'm just gonna check. Something that's always helpful is, you know, even when it seems like your opponent made a big blunder, just making sure he doesn't have any tricks, because I did mention that he has this discovery. If he moves this knight anywhere, he's suddenly attacking my queen, but I don't see any huge threats. So I'm just going to take the queen. See if I get punished for that, but I don't think I will. Looks like, you know, his knight's not pushed up anywhere far enough that he can give a check or something, which would, you know, force me to move the king, and then he could take my queen. I don't see any problems like that, so this is looking like a pretty decisive blunder. And I guess this also ties into something I said in my last video, is that especially when you're playing at this lower rating, your opponents are going to make, you know, they're going to blunder. They're going to make mistakes, essentially. So, you know, one thing you can do is just sort of make sure you play solidly and wait for them to blunder. And it's true at higher levels, like I said last time too. You know, they might not be blundering queens or, you know, any pieces at higher levels, but they'll make strategic blunders at higher levels. So there will always be something for you to capitalize on if you just keep an eye out for it and make sure you're playing safe. So here he's trying to go for that discovery I mentioned, but I think if I move my queen here, I'm defending the rook which he's attacking, and the bishop, and I'm attacking this knight. So this looks like a pretty good move to me. He can't come in with the rook either, because this knight is defending backwards. So this looks pretty good to me. And, you know, maybe one area where I could improve a little bit would be to calculate this far ahead, you know, just maybe look a little bit deeper into all of the knight jumps he had for that discovered attack and make sure that it's working out defensively. But I don't think there's any situation where I'm not taking a free queen there. But, you know, just a little something if this was an even longer game. I mean, this is a pretty long game, but if this was a more serious game, something to consider. So here he's in even more trouble, because don't forget, this bishop is still under attack, this knight's under attack. Not any, you know, real ways he can defend both, I don't think. So this is looking like one of those games that's going to be pretty decisive, just because gonna get cleaned out of pieces, so okay, take back. And again, rook still can't come in because these knights are both looking back. I mean, obviously not gonna move this knight because now it's pinned to my queen, but something to keep in mind. So I'm up, what is this? I'm still up a queen because I guess he got a piece there. So yeah, that was pretty good by him actually because he's not going to lose this piece. And he's defending this pawn. So let's see what we can do here. One thing that I think is going to be helpful is just to start to fight for the center a little bit. I'm looking at, remember when I mentioned that it was risky for him to castle queenside? I'm looking at potential discoveries I have on this diagonal. There isn't really anything while his bishop is over here. Wonder, could I kick it out? If I kick it out, maybe... Still nothing great. Did take my dark square bishop. Yeah, not sure there's anything too great for me here. I'm gonna play this move to start. This is a safe move, gives me my king an escape square. Potentially gets his bishop. Okay, so he keeps his bishop on this diagonal, which I think is probably the right move. I could play this knight in here. If he tries to kick it out, I could jump there. Be good. This knight is going to become pretty annoying. Okay. So I'm going to try and play a little bit quicker here just to close it out, but this game is mostly cleanup work now. I have, you know, such a huge advantage, up an entire queen for a pawn. Not a whole lot he can do. Try and end it as quickly as possible. So yeah, saw this move, and I also saw that I can jump here. Although actually, if I do that, he can bring his bishop down. Would win this, I think. Sure. I might have actually made a mistake there. Might have to come all the way back here. This is a little unfortunate. A little bit sloppy there, but oh well. Still want to give him any counterplay. So now I can, now that the center's open, I can move my rooks in. Oh, I guess I want to move to this square. Okay, so he's attacking it again. Now I think I can force trades by just knight here. If he takes, I take back. Can't take with the rook. I think that was a mistake. When you're down a ton of material, especially like a queen, you want to keep as many pieces on the board as possible, because what that means basically is that you're going to have to outplay your opponent either by winning the material back or going for checkmate. And in either case, you want as many pieces on the board to do so. So by putting yourself in a situation like this where you force a trade because we allow me to force a trade. So here, for example, I move my knight here. My knight's not attacking two pieces, and I'm happy to trade for either one of them. And there's no way for him to avoid this trade. I mean, I guess he could move his bishop there, but it's undefended. Yeah, so he has to allow me to trade for this bishop, which is good. And he even moved his knight back, so that his knight's worse. Pawn structure is going to be worse. That was a really bad move by him. Okay, and so now my queen is even safer on this diagonal. And in fact, I can just scoop this pawn up right away with check, and that's going to win a piece with his knight. Didn't even see that initially. Again, that's probably something I didn't see because I'm trying to talk at the same time, but this is rough for him. If he blocks with the rook, I can just attack it. Rook there. and even if he backs it up, I don't think that's going to be pretty for him. Rook here, I think. See if there's any problems. Yeah, rook here, and then I think he can't move this rook at all. He's gonna have to pin. He's gonna have to back it up with this rook, and then at that point I can jump in with the knight, attack this piece again, and I think he's losing that rook now. So yeah, tough game for my opponent, which is probably not too surprising, but hopefully this was instructive. I think there were actually a lot of important things to see. And so again, I mean, similar to like the last game I played against a lower rated opponent, they were way too aggressive. Okay, well this is just... Okay, let me finish my thought. They were way too aggressive, didn't see the threats. My opponent did do a pretty good job of managing his clock, but especially, you know, once they got down material, kind of just giving up here. So I think my opponent's trying to get some kind of discovery with the knight again. They seem to really be enjoying this kind of discovery type tactic where they move the knight and unveil and attack against my queen, but here it just gives up the rook because this rook is undefended now that it's backed up by my rook. His king can't take back, and so now I'm threatening these two pieces again, and I don't think there's anything he can do to stop it. That move probably gave away this rook. Because this is check, he has to move away the king, and winning the rook. Probably with check. Sometimes in a position like this, I like to look to see if there's a quicker checkmate, but he just gave up. Because yeah, this is crushing. After I take the rook, I'm up so many points material that the game is over. So yeah, that is... that's a wrap. I'm gonna go through the analysis super quick so this video isn't insanely long. I saw there was one blunder. I'm curious to see where that is. Okay, so normal. Yep. And on. Yeah, there we go. Self-analysis. Okay. So far these are all normal moves. Yep, takes. There. Okay, so this was a mistake. Yeah, usually white doesn't want to play this and open up this file like that. So now I'm up a pawn, or the engine likes me by about 1 point of material. This is bad. And again, I mentioned this bishop, this is a bad move because this bishop is piling on, but there really isn't any threat because this knight is already defended so many times. So, okay, so here I make a mistake. It wanted me to just play knight back. Oh, and I might have been winning his bishop there. Because yeah, knight back, and now I guess he can take. Then I take back. Oh, it wants me to keep taking. Okay, so then I take his queen, he takes my queen, and then we just keep trading. Is that how this goes? It doesn't like that. So then I take back. I guess I'm threatening this. And I'm more active. I don't know. I'm not sure why the engine likes this line so much, but I don't know if that move was a mistake, but okay. These moves are good. So this was his major blunder. Yeah. Again, this move just gives away a piece, and it leaves his queen hanging, so the game is pretty much dead lost there. And I'm able to defend everything. He's got to move back. Curious to see. Okay, so I missed a win. It wanted me to play. I had queen check here. Yeah, I was just winning on the spot with this. Yep, that makes sense. So that was a pretty big blunder. I was only looking at moving the knight away to safety, which was probably pretty short-sighted. Yeah, this check is just crushing because he doesn't have access to any of those squares. Okay, so I missed a win, but you know, you don't need to feel too bad about missing a win when you're already up a queen. And then at this point, yeah, it's just completely over. This is... I've never seen this icon before. Oh, resigns. I think that's what that is. But, okay. Yep, I missed a win there, but I was able to show a lot of things. You know, just play solid, as solid as you can. Get the pieces out. Keep an eye out for threats. You know, don't let an aggressive opponent throw you off guard. And... that's it for this one. I'm going to keep it short, like I said. But again, hope you guys enjoy the holidays, and thanks for watching. See ya.